Joshua chapter 18. Division of the rest of the land. The whole assembly of the Israelites gathered at Shiloh and set up the tent of meeting there. The country was brought under their control, but there were still 7 Israelite tribes who had not yet received their inheritance. So Joshua said to the Israelites, "How long will you wait before you begin to take possession of the land that the Lord, the God of your ancestors, has given you? Appoint 3 men from each tribe. I will send them out to make a survey of the land and to write a description of it according to the inheritance of each. Then they will return to me. You are to divide the land into 7 parts. Judah is to remain in its territory on the south, and the tribes of Joseph in their territory on the north. After you have written descriptions of the 7 parts of the land, bring them here to me, and I will cast lots for you in the presence of the Lord our God. The Levites, however, do not get a portion among you, because the priestly service of the Lord is their inheritance. And Gad, Reuben, and the half tribe of Manasseh have already received their inheritance on the east side of the Jordan. Moses, the servant of the Lord, gave it to them. As the men started on their way to map out the land, Joshua instructed them, "Go and make a survey of the land and write a description of it. Then return to me, and I will cast the lots for you here at Shiloh in the presence of the Lord." So the men left and went through the land. They wrote its description on a scroll, town by town, in 7 parts, and returned to Joshua in the camp at Shiloh. Joshua then cast the lots for them in Shiloh in the presence of the Lord, and there he distributed the land to the Israelites according to their tribal divisions. Allotment for Benjamin. The first lot came up for the tribe of Benjamin, according to its clans. Their allotted territory lay between the tribes of Judah and Joseph. On the north side, their boundary began at the Jordan, passed the northern slope of Jericho, and headed west into the hill country, coming out at the wilderness of Beth Aven. From there, it crossed to the south slope of Luz, that is Bethel, and went down to Ataroth Adar, on the hill south of Lower Beth Horon. From the hill facing Beth Horon on the south boundary, turned south along the western side and came out at Kiriath Baal, that is Kiriath Jearim, a town of the people of Judah. This was the western side. The southern side began at the outskirts of Kiriath Jearim on the west, and the boundary came out at the spring of the waters of Nephtoah. The boundary went down to the foot of the hill, facing the valley of Ben Hinnom, north of the valley of Rephaim. It continued down the Hinnom Valley along the southern slope of Jebusite City and so to En Rogel. Then curved north, went to En Shemesh, continued to Gehiloth, which faces the pass of Adummim, and ran down to the stone of Bohan, son of Reuben. It continued to the northern slope of Beth Arabah and on down into the Arabah. It then went to the northern slope of Beth Hoglah and came out at the northern bay of the Dead Sea, at the mouth of the Jordan in the south. This was the southern boundary. The Jordan formed the boundary on the eastern side. These were the boundaries that marked out the inheritance of the clans of Benjamin on all sides. The tribe of Benjamin, according to its clans, had the following towns: Jericho, Beth Hoglah, Emek Kaziz, Beth Arabah, Zemaraim, Bethel, Avim, Pera, Ophrah, Kephar, Ammoni, Ophoni, and Gibeah, 12 towns and their villages, Gibbon, Ramah, Beeroth, Mizpah, Keria, Moza, Rakan, Irpeel, Tararlel, Zillah, Halatha, the Jebusite city that is Jerusalem, Gibwa, and Kiriath 14 towns and their villages. This was the inheritance of Benjamin for its clans. Joshua chapter 19. Allotment for Simeon. The second lot came out for the tribe of Simeon according to its clans. Their inheritance lay within the territory of Judah. It included Beersheba, or Sheba, Balada, Hazar, Shur, Bala, Ezem, El Tolad, Bethuel, Homer, Ziklag, Beth, Makaboth, Hazar Susa, Beth Labaoth, and Shurorahim, 13 towns and their villages, Ain, Rimmon, Ether, and Ashan, 4 towns and their villages, and all the villages round these towns as far as Belath Beer, Ramah in the Negev. This was the inheritance of the tribe of Simeonites, according to its clans. The inheritance of the Simeonites was taken from the share of Judah, because Judah's portion was more than they needed. So the Simeonites received their inheritance within the territory of Judah. Allotment for Zebulun. The third lot came up for Zebulun according to its clans. The boundary of their inheritance went as far as Sarid. Going west, it ran to Marala, touched Debesheth, and extended to the ravine near Joknim. It turned east from Sarid toward the sunrise to the territory of Kisloth Tabor, and went on to Daberath and up to Japhia. Then it continued eastward to Gath Hepher and Eth Kazin. It came out at Rimmon and turned toward Ner. There the boundary went around on the north to Hanathon and ended at the valley of Iphatah El. Included were Kata, Nahalar, Shimron, Idale, and Bethlehem. There were 12 towns and their villages. These towns and their villages were the inheritance of Zebulun, according to its clans. Allotment for Issachar. The fourth lot came out for Issachar according to its clans. Their territory included Jezreel, Casheloth, Shunem, Hapharaim, Shion, Anaharath, Babith, Kishion, Abez, Ramath, An Ganim, En Hada, and Beth Pazez. The boundary touched Tabor and Shahazumah and Beth Shemesh, and ended at the Jordan. There were 16 towns and their villages. These towns and their villages were the inheritance of the tribe of Issachar, according to its clans. Allotment for Asher. The fifth lot came out for the tribe of Asher, according to its clans. Their territory included Elakath, Hali, Betan, Akshaph, Alamelech, Ahmad, and Mishal. On the west of the boundary touched Carmel and Shihor Libnath. It then turned east toward Beth Dagon, touched Zebulun, the valley of Ipta El, and went north to Beth Emek and Neo, passing Kabul on the left. It went to Abdon, Rehob, Hammon, and Kana as far as Greater Sidon. The boundary then turned back toward Ramah and went to the fortified city of Tyre, turned toward Hosa, and came out at the Mediterranean Sea in the region of Akzib, Ummah, Aphek, and Rehob. There were 22 towns and their villages. These towns and their villages were the inheritance of the tribe of Asher, according to its clans. Allotment for Naphtali. The sixth lot came out for Naphtali according to its clans. The boundary went from Hilaph and the large tree in Zanamim, passing Adami Nekeb and Janeel to Lakum, and ending at the Jordan. The boundary ran west through Aznoth Tabor and came out at Hukok. It touched Zebulun on the south, Asher on the west, and the Jordan on the east. The fortified towns were Ziddim, Zer, Hamath, Rakah, Kinnereth, Abdama, Ramah, Hazor, Kadesh, Edrei, Anhazor, Ayin, Migdal El, Horem, Beth Anoth, and Beth Shemesh. There were 19 towns and their villages. These towns and their villages were the inheritance of the tribe of Naphtali, according to its clans. Allotment for Dan. The seventh lot came out for the tribe of Dan, according to its clans. The territory of their inheritance included Zorah, Eshtaol, Ir Shemesh, Shalabin, Aijalon, Italeb, Elon, Timnah, Akron, Eltekeh, Gibbeton, Balath, Jehud, Bene Berak, Gath Rimmon, Me, Jakron, and Rakun, with the area facing Joppa. When the territory of the Danites were lost to them, they went up and attacked Lashem, took it, put it to the sword, and occupied it. They settled in Lashem and named it Dan after their ancestor. These towns and their villages were the inheritance of the tribe of Dan, according to its clans. Allotment for Joshua. When they had finished dividing the land into its allotted portions, the Israelites gave Joshua son of Nun an inheritance among them, as the Lord has commanded. They gave him the town he asked for, Timnath Sherah, in the hill country of Ephraim, and he built up the town and settled there. These are the territories that Eleazar the priest, Joshua son of Nun, and the heads of the tribal clans of Israel assigned by lot at Shiloh in the presence of the Lord at the entrance to the tent of meeting. And so they finished dividing the land.